Well, went back to MD Anderson this past the 1st of May and got some very good news, unexpected news. And I just want to, like Brother Jeff said, just want to take a few minutes and share it with you. I believe that other than salvation, the greatest gift that God has given us is prayer. You can go to God at any time of the day or night, talk to Him about your problems, somebody else's problems. It doesn't matter. You can't go down and you have to make an appointment to talk to the dog catcher. So, that being said, I'd always prayed. I prayed for my cancer, prayed for other people, prayed for some of you. And last year, one Sunday, I was on a different medication than I am now. And I can't express, I don't know if there's words that I can use to make you understand just how sick you feel. If you've ever heard of the term death warmed over, well, that's about how I felt every single day. It was a nauseous feeling from the time you get up, time you go to bed, and a whole lot of times I just got sick, just a lot of times. And I'd been praying about, different things, but I'd kind of gotten away from praying about my cancer. And I don't know why. I just got away from it. And one Sunday morning, it was kind of cold. It was rainy. But I was laying in bed. I just didn't want to get up. The Lord said, "Get up. Go to church." I just laid there. He said, "Get up. Let's go to church." I just kept laying there. He said it again. I thought, well, he's not going to stop. I might as well get up and go to church. Well, I'd laid there so long, I didn't make it to this church, I'm sorry to say. I just made it to one down where I live just off Battlefield, and I made it to a church down there. And on my way to church, like I do when I come here, I always pray that, Lord, let me make sure I get something out of this service. That I get the meaning of what the preacher's talking about, your word. So I got to the church, sat down. The minister of music was just getting started. And he got up and he was talking and he said, "Never cease praying. Don't stop." I don't know what the preacher preached about that Sunday. I couldn't tell you. That was my message. As soon as I walked in, that was my message. I knew it as sure as I'm standing here right now. I was due to go to MD Anderson just in the next few days, in fact. So I started a different kind of prayer than what I was praying. I told the Lord, I'd said, at the time I was 53 years old, I said, "Lord, I'm 53. I said, I'm too young to die. I said, I'm not ready to die." When I first went in the hospital in October of 2008, there was not two people, there wasn't one person, not two, there wasn't one person in that hospital that thought I was going to get out of that bed and go home. In fact, some of the nurses told my wife and my mother, said, "If he's still here," meaning if he's still alive, "we'll see you Tuesday." I shouldn't have been here. I don't know how many people started praying for me. I couldn't tell you today. how many people started praying for me. I don't have a number. Churches all over Chattanooga, from different places. I have people that, a friend that lives in California, his church is praying. Churches all over Chattanooga, they're praying. So the number, I have no clue. But I do know one thing, it's working. I know one thing, it's working. Anybody that thinks that prayer doesn't work, or just, well, it's never answered my prayers or whatever, don't give up. Do not give up. The Lord will answer your. Now, He might not give you the answer you want, but He will answer your prayers. It may be yes, it may be no, and it may be, hey, a little later down the road. He knows best. Who am I to question Him? So, my new prayer was, Lord, I want you to heal me of this cancer. I want you to just reach in and just take all the tumors. I have it's called gastrointestinal stromal tumors. And all it is that one day my body just said, hey, we're going to change things up today, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to start making tumors. And right now, all through my abdomen, I've probably got at least 100 tumors. I have 2 or 3 that are, yay long, growing off of my liver. I don't have liver cancer or cancer of the liver. I just have tumors growing out of my liver. I was concerned about the medication making me sick, this new medication that I'm on now. And we were in Sunday school class, in Joe Akers' class, and he had said, he always asked me how I'm doing and all this, and he said, well, told everybody, said, let's keep Gerald in our prayers. Well, where is Phyllis? Right there. Phyllis Thompson said, well, why don't we just pray for him now? She prayed for me. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that's helped me. I have not had any feeling of nauseousness on this medication. Very few side effects. A couple of things, like I have joint pain in my knees. That's just a side effect. I can live with that. That is nothing compared to, I just take another pill for that to stop the pain. So, but the nauseousness, it just doesn't go away. And for that, you never know how much I appreciate that, Phyllis. Due to one of my medications, it damaged, I'm not sure if it's one or both of my kidneys, not as bad as some, but the creatine levels are a little high. For some of you that are in the medical field, it's 1.22, if you know what that means. I don't. Billy, you might. And I was supposed to go on a trial at MD Anderson. They were going to move it to, it's the same trial, but they were going to have it at Raleigh at Duke University. And because of my creatine levels, I didn't qualify. And I went back to MD Anderson the next time, and he said, well, I'm glad you didn't qualify, because somebody that he had on it there, another patient, it really damaged his kidneys. So that was just another prayer that was answered, that the Lord, was right there listening to me. The new medication that I'm on now, like I said, there's no side effects or anything. Well, I just went back to MD Anderson. All these medications, all of them, are designed to shrink the tumors. The first medication I was on was shrink all these tumors down to about the size of an eraser on the end of a pencil. Well, I've been praying to be totally healed. God doesn't have to touch me. All he has to do is give it a thought, and I'm done. That's it. I'm healed. Well, the last time I went, Dr. Patel, he's the director of the sarcoma center at MD Anderson, so I got lucky there. I got the head guy looking over me. He came in and sat down, and he said, I can't do his accent, but it was, "We have some good news for you." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he said, "On my left side, one of my tumors is dead. On my right side, one of them, instead of being a solid mass like tumors are, is soft. It's like a jelly substance inside of a baggie or something." So my thinking is, I hope the good Lord's thinking the same way I am, is that that's what they do. They soften up and then die. If that's not answered prayer, I don't know what is. I do not know what it is. Thank you. Thank you. It's been several years ago. My sister, she had some problems. Income tax. She needed to get her car, something about getting her car paid off and all this. And she'd never had a child, and she wanted a child. And she was in bed, she was crying. And the Lord came to her and said, "What do you want?" She said, "Lord, I need to know that I'm not asking to be a millionaire." She said, "I just need enough money to pay my income taxes off, so I know it's you." She said, I don't know how to get to Scottsboro, Alabama, so would you just have them send the papers to me and I'd sign them and send them back?" Then she said, "I want a daughter. Brown hair, blue eyes." And in all three of those instances, in order, the Lord gave her the money that covered exactly what she needed for her income tax. Without even calling Scottsboro, the dealership in Scottsboro sent her the papers. And Jana's sitting back there right now, brown hair, blue eyes, a good personality, a great sense of humor. I know this because she laughs at all my jokes. And that's just answered prayer. That's just another example of answered prayer. Friend, I don't want the hook, but I don't want to take your time up. A friend of mine told me, I called him on the phone and was telling him this, and he said, "Gerald," he said, "you've got a story to tell." He said, "This story right here that I just conveyed to you is something that everybody can what's the word I'm looking at for? Relate to. Thank you. I failed to mention that some of this medication, one side effect, and it's to all of it, it gives you kind of a little chemo brain, and sometimes you just lose that word or sentence or whatever, so forgive me. But a friend of mine had the last $10 that she had. She was so broke she couldn't pay attention. She put the $10, made it out to the church, sent it in the mail, and just had faith that the Lord was going to take care of her. The next day in the mail, a check showed up that she wasn't expecting for exactly what she needed to pay her bills and to do whatever she needed to do with. I mean, it's I just don't know of I'm sure everybody out here has some stories to tell. I know Reba and Sammy with that baby. I can't imagine But God's answering those prayers, I know that. I pray for y'all all the time. And I just want to thank every one of you that's prayed for me. And just know that God is answering your prayers. I looked up, I probably shouldn't, it may be a little morbid, but I looked up, I wanted to know what the mortality rate with my cancer was. It's about 5 years. Within 5 years, unless one of the medications work, that's all you got. I don't buy that for a second. The Lord's on my side. He's healing me of this cancer. When your tumors show up dead, you know that's not just a fluke. So, anyway, I appreciate you letting me have your time. And Brother Jeff,